This is a split call. Angie Warren-Clark, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Gosh, isn't it amazing? 9 long years. Dr. Shane Reti spends a few months and he comes up with a solution. Where were the opposition when they were in government for those 9 long years talking about how evil this drug was? How evil it was. Madam Speaker, it's a pleasure to take a call on the Misuse of Drugs Medicinal Cannabis Amendment Bill. It's a real pleasure because I believe that this is what the community has been asking for, and also what we made a promise about, and we've kept our promise. Promise keepers, absolutely. Look, I'd really like to thank the submitters, and I have spoken in this House before about how harrowing some of those stories were, and also how gracious those people were to share those stories with us about their stories of pain and anguish and illness, and how amazing medicinal cannabis was for those people. And I want to also acknowledge and talk about one of the things that I'm particularly pleased is the extension. The original definition that we had was people were able to access medicinal cannabis or cannabis with THC in it if they had less than 12 months to live. And we had some submitters who talked to us about when they are in that situation where they have a terminal illness, they don't like to limit themselves by saying that it's going to be less than 12 months that they're going to live. So it caused a real barrier for people, and rightly so. When you're fighting for your life, people do not want to say that they have less than 12 months to live. So I'm really pleased that we have had an extension into palliative care, which will increase people's ability to use cannabis and utensils without fear of conviction. A defence, if you will. Now, if those people choose to smoke, good on them. Really? Good on them. They're in palliative care. They're in palliative care. That is very, very different from just saying, help yourself to a big fat doobie someday. No, I'm not saying that, Mr. Smith. What I would like to say is they have the ability to use and access that product in whatever way gives them comfort and use. A lot of people in Nelson. What I would also like to say is, while we heard, I'm going to just, while the stories were often very traumatic, there was one very light moment, and I wanted to just raise this because I think it's important that we keep our sense of humour at times. I asked the question, having come from Northland, what fruit and flowers were, and I had this young chap jump up. He has a licence to carry hemp. He comes rushing to the table and points out to me what flowers and fruit were. Now, flowers and fruit, for those people who come from Northland, that is bud and seed. And it was very interesting to have that description, man, and to talk about the fact that this was not a product that was going to get someone high. It had less than 2% THC in it, and therefore I was able to be instructed. Madam Speaker, this bill provides an exemption and a statutory defence. It provides a regulation-making power to enable the setting of the standards and deschedules cannabinoid CBD. And I think that this is the beginning of the conversation that we are mature enough to have in this country, and I am pleased, Madam Speaker, to commend this bill to the House.
I call Simeon Brown.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you for the opportunity to take